It's a quiet private road in the Oyster Bay community of Cove Neck. But 30 years ago, catastrophe unfolded when a plane glided out of the sky.
Avianca 52, climb maintain 3,000.
Negative, sir. We're just running out of fuel.
Avianca Flight 52, a Boeing 707 carrying 158 people, ran out of fuel and slammed into a hillside.
Avianca 052, radar contact lost.
I was watching TV and we'd heard there'd be thunder and there was an immense smash and everything flickered.
Neighbor and emergency responder Jeffrey Race was among the first on the scene.
I ran towards the tail section to assess what was going on. When I saw the power lines down and the jet, as you look up the hill off to the right, you could see the fuselage up the hill. We identified that the cockpit crew had been deceased. There were people all throughout the plane as we started getting people out. Here's a 707 laying in a backyard, broken apart. But when people heard my voice, that's when they started calling out and screaming and calling for help.
And I've never seen a sight like that in my life.
The crash happened right in front of the home that Jeannie and her husband were in the process of buying.
When we talked to the homeowner, she said, no, she heard like a whoosh, her power went out, and then just like a bang, like a car crash.
Flight 52 from Columbia was due to land at JFK Airport, but weather, air traffic, and delays kept the plane circling the sky, exhausting its fuel. 73 people died in the crash. 85 survived, all depending on where they were seated on the plane.
I remember looking down and seeing a guy. I started to try and help him, and he told me, no, go get some of the kids out of the wreckage.
There's only one way in and out on this road, which posed a challenge for emergency crews working in the dark. News 12 Long Island was first on the scene, and we kept our camera lights on at the request of responders to help find survivors.
He turned the light on his camera, and we could see the people in the plane, and that's when the first responders started pulling people out.
Former News 12 anchor and reporter Scott Feldman was live all night.
The people that were able to communicate with me said that they had heard nothing from the pilots, and right before the plane went down, it was deadly, deadly silent. Eerily silent.
We found out about it from what I believe News 12 was one of the first to run the stories, which was amazing because it was the local news we needed.
People who worked on this crash will be haunted for a very long time.
No other news crews with live capabilities were able to get in. So for the longest time, we were the only news organization broadcasting live. News 12 as an organization was young, just 38 months old. But our staffers were veterans, experienced, including myself.
And casualties could have been worse if the plane still had fuel or crashed in a more populated area.
There wasn't a lick of jet fuel on that plane. And thank God, because if there had been, it would have been an inferno. And there would have been no survivors. I truly believe that.
In the wake of the crash, Long Islanders rallied around the community who watched tragedy unfold on their doorstep.
There were no boundaries with neighbors and property. Everybody came together. It was quite spectacular all across Cove Neck, doing what they could to help the people who were coming to the rescue.
After watching the news last night on TV, I just thought if there was anything I could do to help, and this would be the best thing I could do.
And months later, a National Transportation Safety Board investigation cited multiple failures by the flight crew and poor traffic management by the FAA.
We have a litany of mistakes and missed possibilities on the part of the crew here, and it's I don't think it's quite fair to recite all of that and not also point out the ways in which the air traffic services did not come up to par.
Investigations also found that although many lives were saved by responders, open access to the scene led to clogged roads and poor communication. The crash led to changes on the ground and in the air, including new terms and protocols for flight fuel emergencies and an updated dispatch system.
The fact of the matter is that that night is still as vivid in my memory as if it had happened yesterday.
Race responded to multiple disasters, including September 11th, but he says he'll never forget the night a plane crashed around the corner.
It's just unbelievable that it actually was occurring right there in my own town. It's just unbelievable.
In Cove Neck, Greg Cannella, News 12 Long Island.